Anya means willpower. Why this chakra is called as willpower? If this chakra opens, your whole thoughts, your whole thinking trend will be changed. Not only that, whatever you think will become reality. What is this? Like a genie tale Swamiji is telling. Whatever you think will become reality. Don't think I am telling some genie tales. I am telling some story. See these organizers sitting here. I am not telling any genie tales. As on now, 80% of our energy is spent just in vague thoughts, not in a solid way, just in a vague thoughts. And only 20% is spent in a creativity. Once this energy, Anya chakra, is awakened, only 20% will be spent in the vague thoughts and 80% will start moving in the creativity. 80% of the energy will start moving in creativity. That is why when this chakra opens, your thoughts will become reality. You will have the energy to work out your thoughts. As of now, your thoughts you are so crowded with thoughts, no energy is left to create. There is no energy for creativity. You are just crowded. You are nothing more than a crowd of asylum, crowd of madness. You are nothing more than a big asylum. But when this chakra opens, number of thoughts reduce and the intensity of thoughts increase. Intensity increases. It becomes more powerful and more deep. That is the power of this chakra. This chakra is called Chakraraj, the king of chakras. Why? If this chakra is awakened, your all the other 6 chakras also will be awakened. If you work on the Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Anahata, Vishuddhi, only that chakra will be awakened. But as far as this chakra is concerned, if you work on this chakra, all the 7 will be awakened. There is one small danger with this chakra. Whatever you think will become reality. With this chakra awakening, all your thoughts, whether good or bad, it will become reality. A small story. There is a tree called Kalpavriksha. Kalpavriksha. Tree, whatever you think, sitting under it, the wish will be fulfilled. It's very Puranic, it's very, like a fairy tale. We do not know whether it existed or not, the tree. Like a fairy tale. Under the tree, if you sit and think whatever, that will become reality. One guy was sitting under the tree without even knowing it is a Kalpavriksha. And suddenly he thought, oh, I have so much of hunger. If I get food, it will be really nice. He saw the food was in front of him. He ate. The next, if I get 2 cards to sleep, it will be really nice. He got 2 cards. He got immediately 2 cards. Next, if I get 2-3 ladies to press my feet and serve me, it will be really grand. Immediately he saw 2-3 young women serving him. Suddenly he thought, what is this? Whatever I am thinking is becoming reality. If a tiger comes and kills me, what will happen? Next moment, tiger appeared and killed him. See, at least you would have been alive if he has not went and slept under the tree. If you would have been outside, at least you would have been alive. You wouldn't have died. When you come to this chakra, it creates so much of energy in you. There is one danger. It's almost like going near the fire. If you know the right technique, you can use the fire for cooking, for heating your body and everything. But if you just misbehave with it, what it does? It just burns you like electricity. If you work properly with it, you will get all benefits. The moment you misbehave, you are finished. So this chakra is like electricity. This chakra is like a fire. This chakra is equally powerful like the tree. Meditate on this chakra, you will get the same power. Okay? Actually, this chakra is just like the Kalpavriksha. Whatever you think, the thought will get the power. One thing you should understand, I want you to understand. If the number of thoughts are more, the intensity will be less. If the quantity is more, quality will be less. If the quantity is less, naturally, the quality will be more. When this chakra is awakened, that is what happens. The quality is increased, quantity is reduced. With ego, this chakra gets locked. When you identify yourself with anything outer, this chakra gets locked. When you start living an innocent, simple life, when I say the word innocence, I mean totally different. Let me explain it to you. The energy of this chakra opens. Let me explain what I mean by the word ego and what I mean by the word innocence. What you all think as ego? Tell me.
Who I am?
Who I am is ego.
Yes.
Not that. When you ask who I am, your ego disappears. Yes.
That there's like no God, I'm the only God, and I can do anything I want to.
Okay. Then? Yes.
When you think too much about yourself, like you think you're all great and like you're better than everyone.
Then?
Self-centered.
I am minus.
Your image.
Then?
Ego is something that takes away from the reality and it makes you think outside something that is very vague. It takes you to where you have some kind of to boost something. It is imaginary. It's not real. But it takes you to a certain extent that you think of yourself much more than
what you are.
What you are.
Okay. Let me give you explanation from different angle. If I ask some of you who you are, what will you tell? First you will tell your name. Then you will tell, I am son of so and so. Then I am husband of so and so. I am brother of so and so. I am father of so and so. I am a boss of so and so. Or I am a subordinate of so and so. These are the answers you will give. You are boss for your subordinate. You are subordinate for your boss. You are husband for your wife. You are son for your father. You are father for your son. Who are you for you? Who are you for you? All these things exist related to others. Your neighbor for your neighbor. Your friend for your friend. Yes, tell me.
I am the spirit residing in this world.
What do you mean by the word spirit?
Spirit is something that always with you. When you are born in this world, it is with you and it always stays with you. And it is functioning you all the time.
How it looks.
It doesn't have any form or anything. It just
How it is.
how
Such a vague concept.
That is what I am trying to prove. All our idea about spirit is just a vague concept. It has not become solid experience, ma.
Theoretical.
But it is an experience that when you see it, that you think in that way, that it becomes an experience.
But by thinking, experience can never happen. if it has become experience, you will not have any fear, any, what to say that, bondage. See, when you say you are spirit, but if somebody tortures your body, what do you immediately shout? Oh, I am having pain. You suffer. You suffer the pain. And what about you? I myself suffer the pain. Even after the experience, when I live in the, if I have to live in the body, means I have to undergo the usual things of the body. In Malaysia, some 6,000-7,000 people energization, still my hand is there. My hand is there as it is, and I started giving energization the left hand. So when you live in the body, you undergo the pain. The pain and all those things are compulsory because you don't know who you are. Anyhow, some other answers about the spirit or who you are for yourself.
So they have
It's
to
like
know
the spirit is like a shapeless.
Hmm?
It's like a shapeless, weightless form, and it's like the only thing in the world that you actually own,
Hmm.
because you don't really own the body. It's God that actually operates it.
You are sure?
Yeah.
You are sure about all these things?
Let's say 85%.
What about that 15%?
Oh, that 15%, I'm not sure because you kind of control the body, but then I kind of learned that you don't really own the body, so I'll just say 85% to be safe.
What about you?
it. Spark in the universe, basically, universalistic consciousness.
Again, all these words, just tell me.
You're right. No, all these things are what are read from books itself.
Just read from the
Bookish
books.
knowledge, yeah.
See, when I was 10-year-old boy, I went to a Swami called Annamalai Swami. He is a disciple of Ramana Maharshi, direct disciple of Ramana Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi is the person who lived in South India, my native place, and he is one of the enlightened master who, I can say, who is the witness for that spiritual, highest spiritual state, who lived in the same state for so many years in India, and who is well known all over the world. His disciple Ramana Maharshi, the Ramana Maharshi's disciple Annamalai Swamigal. Ramana Maharshi had 4 disciples, enlightened disciples. He is the one in that 4. This guy is very inspiring person. When I was 10-year-old boy, I was taken to him by my family. He was talking to a group of people. We are beyond body, we don't have pain or suffering and all those things. When I heard, really I was fascinated. What? We don't get pain, we are beyond suffering. I went to the house and took a knife and cut my thigh to see whether we really have pain or not. Still now the mark is there. A big mark. Of course, I had the pain. They rushed, they took me to the hospital and they did all the first aid, everything. And my mom was shouting at me, what foolish thing you did. Then again I went to that Swami back to that Swami, asking him, what is this? You taught something foolish and I went and tested it on myself. God saved, at least I tested it on the thigh, not on the neck. And why did you preach this? Then he said, you didn't understand what I meant. Go and do this meditation technique. He gave me a small meditation technique to search from where thoughts are raising. He told me, go and meditate, you will understand. Anyhow, for the time being, I got some answer and went away, started meditating. After 2 years of meditation, suddenly one day evening, I had a wonderful experience. This is my first spiritual experience. I was sitting and trying to meditate. Suddenly something broke in my being. I saw very clearly the third eye. The third eye was only opening. I could see complete 360 degree in single moment. See, you all know 120 degree vision. 120 degree you can see without moving your head. But I don't know how you will be able to understand. Complete 360 degree I was able to see without moving the head. And my eyes are closed. Not only this side 360 degree. Imagine the cutout behind my back and this side, this doll and this doll and that side, everything without moving my head. And not only this side 360 degree and this side 360 degree also. The sky on the head, the temple in the front, and the hillock in the back, and the rock on which I am sitting. The whole thing. Actually, the first moment when I started seeing, I was frightened. The next moment, I felt that not only I was seeing, I felt that the whole thing is me. I started feeling it. Of course, the experience continued for more than 1.5 hours. When I came down from that experience, it's like I was having a deep fever of bliss. It was so ecstatic and blissful. It's a deep fever of bliss. But the problem is, I do not know whether it is a spiritual experience or anything. First of all, I do not know what is spiritual experience. That was the age. So I was frightened. I thought some ghost has possessed me. Some spirit has possessed me. So I ran to the Swami again, to another one lady. She told me, no, you are not possessed by spirit, you are possessed by God. She consoled and the story goes, that is different. When you really search, who am I? You get a solid experience. Now, without knowing who am I, throughout your life, you identify yourself as a Hindu, or as a Muslim, or as a Christian, or as an Indian, or American, or Germany, or you are this body, you belong to this society, you belong to this community, you belong to this family. You live with the fake identities. Instead of searching for the original identity, you live with the fake identities. The more the fake identities you gather around yourself, the more egoistic you are. The less you identify yourself with the fake identities, more innocent you are. If you understand all these identities are just fake, then you will see, you will become more and more innocent. Innocent guy lives more richly and more happily. Understand? When I say he lives in a more rich way, I mean not only in the money, even in the quality. Innocent guy will be so spontaneous. One more thing, I want you all to know, I want all of you to know, even the scientific researchers prove the third eye, when the Ajna Chakra is awakened, the front, they call it frontal lobe medically. Medically it is called frontal lobe, which is the in charge. The frontal lobe is the in charge of attention, wisdom, responsibility, memory, for so many things. All these things are handled only by the frontal lobe. If the frontal lobe is activated, you will see, if the third eye is activated, your energy of taking the responsibility, your energy to take the decisions, your power to decide, your wisdom will all expand and explode in a multiple scale, in a big way. It will start working. Even the doctors, even the medical field people, they are working intensely on the third eye. Now a lot of research is going on the third eye. NASA is trying to catch the techniques of third eye to develop new human beings. They saw the power of memory and concentration expressed by these enlightened guys, especially these lamas. So now they are working on the third eye to catch the techniques and to use it on the use it for different purposes. Let me give the few basic simple things about this Ajna Chakra. First thing, the more you identify yourself with your fake identities, the more world is distorted. You see what you want to see. You see what you don't want to see. You should understand one thing. Most of the time, we never collect arguments and give judgment. We give judgment and collect arguments to support the judgment. Most of the time in your life, you pass judgment and then create arguments to support, arguments to
Justification.
justify it. That's the way we work. That's the way our life goes on. A small incident which happened in my own life. I had a driver, he's a fanatic Hindu. That is the only, just for that reason I have to stop him. Good guy, highly dedicated, but fanatic Hindu. Every day he used to take me in a route to my city center to ashram. We have two ashrams in Bangalore. One is the main ashram headquarters, another one is small city center. And in the route, one day I wanted to go to some other place. So on the way, there's a big mosque. I told him to take a right near the mosque. He says, no, there is no mosque, Swamiji. What are you telling? I told him, Arey, there is a mosque. I told the place where the mosque is there. He said, no, there is no mosque. Then I told him the exact hotel next to which the mosque is there. He said, no, there is no mosque, Swamiji. Only one Anjaneya temple is there. I said, all right, next to the Anjaneya temple only, take the right. The thing which you need to understand is, the mosque is 5 times bigger than the temple. 6 months he is going by the same route. His mind is recording the temple, but his mind has not recorded the mosque. When we went there, he himself was shocked. He said, Swamiji, first time I am seeing the mosque. I do not know how I have travelled on the same route for last 6 months. First time I am seeing this mosque. Actually, you also do so many times the same mistake. You see the world based on your conditionings, based on your identifications. You don't see whatever exists. You see what you want to see and the way in which you want to see. Any incident, any person or any situation, you see only as you want it. The modern day psychologists, they prove you see only 2% of the happenings around you. If 100 things are happening around you, you see only 2%. And that too, what you wanted to see. Not everything else. So all our judgment, all our thinking, everything is based on what do you want to see. Everything is based on the way in which you wanted to see. There is a beautiful concept in Vedanta. Drishti Srishti means seeing what you want to see. Not seeing what is, seeing what you want. In our life, we see only what we want to see. When the Samnya Chakra is awakened, you will start having a deep intuition or a clear intelligence about everything, because your vision will become more sharper and deeper, not only the physical vision. I am telling about the inner vision, inner clarity. You will have more clear arguments, more clear judgments, more clear thinking. Yes.
At that point, what energy guides you and what is that energy that...
The energy which moves the Ganga, the energy which moves the Himalayas.
What you call it in the second name?
There cannot be any name. If I give some name, you will catch out of that name. That is the reason I never wanted to give any name. I never wanted to give any name, because the moment I give the name, you will start repeating the name. You will start memorizing that name. You will think that name is that energy. No.
Yeah.
One thing, the name can never be the energy. If you can relate with the energy directly with some technique, that is enough. Let us enter into the technique which makes you to relate with the energy. Instead of catching the name, if I say it is Rama or Krishna, you will start repeating Rama, Rama, Krishna, Krishna, Hare, 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 Rama, Rama, Krishna, Krishna. You see, I always tell people, repeating Rama, Rama, repeating Krishna, Krishna is just equivalent to repeating Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. People continuously repeat the mantra. Repeating mantra more or less makes you dull. And I have seen people repeating mantra and talking through phone. Repeating mantra and cutting the vegetable. Repeating mantra and walking in the house. That's never going to work. If you just sit in one place and meditate on the meaning of the mantra, if you are supposed to meditate on Rama mantra, means you are supposed to meditate on the form of the Rama, the being of the Rama, not just the word, whereby Rama, 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 and thinking something else. And if you repeating in the mouth and thinking something else, means what happens? Your personality becomes schizophrenic. You master the art of doing two works at a time. And your energy is dissipated. So I always tell people, repeating Rama, Rama and repeating Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola is one and the same. Better you repeat Coca-Cola at least. You will be clear that you are not doing something spiritual.
Does mantram have a form basically? Or do you create a form for the mantram?
See, there are three things: verbalization, visualization, emotion. If all these three things are attached, all these three things are at a time happening, it is a meditation. If only one thing is happening, then it's a problem. If you take a Rama mantra, then you must have a deep love for Rama. And you should meditate in the form of the Rama with bow and arrow and all those Chandrakala. Vadatmagam, Vanarayuta Mukyam, Rama Viram, then all those forms. If you take a Krishna mantra, you must have a deep love for Krishna and you must feel the form of the Krishna and name. All these three, if they are engaged, if your being is engaged in all the three, then you won't have a problem. It will become meditation. But generally we don't do all the three. What we do? Rama, 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 hey, cut the line and do this. Krishna, 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 ring up and speaker, go and get vegetables. What is happening, find out. So then naturally you become schizophrenia. Your mind becomes a master of doing the same thing at a time. Two things at a time. Then your energy is dissipated. Now let us enter into the technique to work on the Ajna Chakra. This meditation will heal the eye problem. See, in the other techniques you don't directly relate with me. In this technique you actually directly relate with me. Do you know the meaning of the word Varanasi? Kasi. In Sanskrit, Varanasi means the place between the eyebrows and nose. Varanasi. Varana means eyebrow. Nasi means nose. The place between eyebrows and the nose. The Ajna Chakra is Varanasi. Ajna Chakra is Varanasi. Listen, we are going to work on the third eye. Please don't sit directly straight in front of me. You won't be able to bear one candle fixed in front of me. Please listen the instruction carefully. Please listen. We are going to work on the third eye. Third eye is a very mystical energy center. I should tell you one more information. If other energy centers, other chakras have got 5 techniques to open them, means this energy center has got 5,000 techniques to open it. Such a powerful chakra. In all over the world, thousands and thousands of mystics. There is no master, no mystic who did not work on this third eye. Everybody, almost everybody works on this third eye. Let me give the instruction. As a 2-layer we are going to work on this third eye. First layer, first thing, by closing your eyes. By closing your eyes, concentrate on the third eye. Feel as if you are drilling it from inside. Drilling it from inside. Visualize as if you are drilling it from inside. if you visualize, you are drilling it from inside, you will see that your whole energy is concentrated on the third eye. First instruction, when I ask you to close your eyes and drill the third eye from inside. Next, second level, when I ask you to open your eyes, see through your third eye to my third eye. See through your third eye to my third eye. Understand? Don't look through two eyes. How to look?
Third eye is here.
Imagine as if you are looking through the third eye. Visualize as if you are looking through the third eye. You are seeing through the third eye with the physical two eyes opened. So you see, when you close your physical two eyes, you have to concentrate on the third eye. When you have opened your two eyes, just imagine that you are looking through this area. In the beginning only it will be as if. In 1 or 2 seconds you will see, you are able to look through that one vision. One moment, yes.
They have to remove the sticker bindi?
Yes, if you have the sticker bindi, remove it. Never use sticker bindi. That locks the Ajna chakra. Always keep kumkum. Kumkum can be there. When you open your eyes, look through your third eye to my third eye. Where I have this dot. Understand? So, understand the instruction. When you close your eyes, feel you are drilling the third eye. When you open your eyes, look through your third eye to my third eye. By closing your eyes, concentrate on the third eye. Feel as if you are drilling it from inside.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Next, second level, open your eyes, see through your third eye to my third eye. Imagine as if you are looking through the third eye.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.